Hi everyone, I'm here to play with my bubble mold again. I'm sure you guys are going to be sick of seeing this, but I just adore it. What I want to do is do a layered pour. My first part is going to be a bloom drawn with the piping bag, and then over top of it I'm going to do a fairy flower. So I mixed up 3 ounces of resin because I think it'll take about 2 ounces to fill in the center and then an ounce for my white. I am using craft resin. It's a 1-to-1 resin, crystal clear, low bubbles, excellent UV protection, odorless, uh, all great things. So here's my resin. It's all ready to go. I've been letting it sit while I took down Christmas decorations. So I'm at 31 degrees Celsius now. I'm going to pour it in the bottom of my mold and let it start moving around. And I'm going to pour an ounce in my cup. Probably didn't need that much, but... And then I'm going to pour the rest in this mold. I just want it to lightly fill the bottom. You don't want too thick of a layer when you do a bloom because if you do, your bloom may just drop, which can happen. There's so many things that can happen with blooms that you don't want to risk it. So just do a very light layer of resin in your mold. I am going to use for this bloom Cast and Craft Opaque Pigment Concentrate. And I've been messing with my bottle, it's a new bottle, trying to get it to open up more, and I'm failing. So I'm going to have to squeeze it like a mad woman to get it to come out. Because I poured probably over an ounce, I'm going to do 8 drops. Normally I do 5 or 6 per ounce. I do want a somewhat thin bloom, so I'm not using for like a white paste because that would give me too heavy of a bloom. I also don't want to put too much white in, again, because I don't want the bloom to be too heavy. If it's too heavy, my design won't show through it. I actually have one over here that I'm working on that I didn't do a video for. Trying to drag it over here now. I just poured it. I'm working on that. That has a bloom at the bottom, and then I did the fairy flower pour on top where I dot it. So I'm excited to see how that comes out. Let's mix this up. Looks pretty good. I'm also going to add some of Magnolia Shimmer from Laura's Art Corner. It's one of my favorite things to add to blooms to give them a little shimmer. And just a tiny bit, as you see, just a little bit on the spoon. Mix it in really good. What I'm also going to do, which I don't normally do, is I am going to put some Ranger Alcohol Ink Flannel, just 2 drops in my white. And the reason that I'm doing this is the mold is white, this is white. I want to be able to see where I'm placing the bloom, and if it's just white, I won't be able to see it. So I'm just going to add 2 drops of this. It won't have a huge impact on my design or anything. It'll just give it a tad bit of color to help me out, help me see where the bloom is. You see, it's not much. It didn't do much. It just added a gray tint to the white. But that should help us see when I put the bloom in here where it is. All right, let's pour it. I use 6-ounce cups. This is an 8-inch piping bag. I got way more white than I need, I can tell. I might have to mix up some more resin and do something else if this white comes out nice. All right. I'm going to cut a little tip off. Alright, and I forgot to get my little white. I'm gonna grab that now. There we go. All right, so what I'm going to do for this bloom is I am going to dot the center and then I'm going to draw petals. So what I mean by dot the center is as if I'm going to do fireworks. And wait 1 second because I've got light in my eyes. Sometimes it's hard to see with my setup here. I hope I didn't make it harder for you to see when I move that light. I won't know until I look at the video. And I don't want to wait too much longer to do this because my resin is thickening. If it thickens too much, it won't bloom. So you don't want resin getting too hot. Let me just give this a look-see. Maybe. I'm just lightly dabbing some dots so that I have more of a circle type center. All right, so now I'm gonna do my drawn bloom. And I don't try to touch the petals because wherever you drop too much resin, you may end up with the blobby, the dreaded blobbies. Now I may add some more petals after I do this. And I'm just standing up again to see. Maybe a few more around the outside. All right, I think that's it. And look, I have a ton of white left. I might go ahead and mix up some resin and do something else, some other pour. All right, so then I'm just gonna wait and we'll come back and do the back or the fairy flower together. I do see with the bubble mold, I don't know if you see these little bubbles here. I just wanna make sure that there's not a bubble, that it's, because I didn't pour a bunch in there, it may not have filled some of these little crevices. So I'm just going in now and making sure there's no bubblies gonna come up on me. All right, it doesn't look like I need to hit it with any heat. And if you've watched me use this mold before, you know I'm overly cautious about it. I don't want to hit it with heat because I'm afraid I'll ruin it because I'm in love with the mold. So I'll keep an eye on it and we will come back probably in about 6 hours to do the fairy flower on top of this. All right, see you then. Hi everyone, we're back for round 2 of the bloom. I've mixed up an additional 7 ounces of resin. I've divided them divided it amongst these 5 cups. Continuing with craft resin, the first cup, I put 10 drops of Octopus Fluids Resin Ink Green Apple. The second cup, I put 10 drops of Octopus Fluids Resin Ink Sweet Cherry. This cup, I put a pea-sized drop of Let's Resin Ocean White. This cup, I put 3 drops of the Sweet Cherry. That's for my first push. And for my second push, I used Tangerine. All right, so let's get a move on it. First, let's go ahead and pour in our green. And I'm going over the edge. In this beautiful bubble coaster. There we go. And then with the second cup, I'm just going to pour it in the center of the Sweet Cherry. I'm going to give it a little shot with my torch, just to get rid of some of the bubbles that I created by pouring this in. And remember, with the bubble edge mold, I am going to get some bubbles around the side. I'm hoping that they just take care of themselves. I'm going to move these out of my way. So we have to do our first round of piping. Our fairy flower dots. And of course, I'll put a note so you can speed up the video past the dotting, because I know it's long and tedious. And I do use 6-ounce cups, 8-inch piping bags. And remember, this is going to not be warm. We didn't let our resin warm, so we're going to want a very tiny tip. These new piping bags that I got, actually a tiny part of the tip is not open, so I do have to cut a little bit further. So let me grab my scissors. All right, I'm going to give it another hit of heat. Kind of go around the edge real fast. Try not to get my mold. All right, so let's get ready to just drop. And we are just dropping the, just want this bubble right here. We are just letting it drop because it is thin, so it's just gonna come out of here. So you sort of have to go fast because gravity is doing its thing. Got a little light in my eyes, so I'm hoping I'm getting it close to the edge. Like I said, it's coming out really fast. My first round, I do a little spread apart. I am trying to do in between with the next row of dots. Sometimes it's difficult to do, and you may have to go back in the end and put some extra dots to spread them out and make sure there's not just a line of dots. All right, first round of dots down. Second sweet cherry pour. Then round 2 of dots start in the center. Let me just adjust my light for a little out of my way, a little more. I think I actually made the light worse. Just had to adjust the light because it was really bad. All right. That's it with the white. And now our last pour into the center. And we're going to give it some heat. Now I'm not doing a center or anything because we have the bloom under there. Now I didn't fill the mold because this is just a trial and I hate using a lot of resin when I'm just trying things out. If this works well, we'll do it again and we will fill the mold all the way. All right, we'll be back when this is ready to unmold. All right, we're back to see how this came out. This side looks pretty cool, right? Let's see. See if this is a winner, whether we're going to be doing it again. I adore this mold. All right. Oh my. It is gorgeous. I think it's perfect. I don't know if you can see if the light's hitting it right or not. Very cool.